What is Kamala's greatest accomplishment?
I mean, I would say her greatest accomplishments would probably be when she broke up.
It's fun to stay at the
chose to put your, I believe this is a manifesto before the Constitution. I was just going to ask if you see the irony in your own propaganda in the Constitution on your brainwash tour.
You mean writing a paragraph is propaganda?
No, I also believe that having the explanations here because you don't believe the reader is smart enough to understand the language is kind of propaganda.
Well, no. So do you know who that audience is for?
For people who can't read it.
Yeah, that's a Constitution for third graders.
Yeah. Why are you handing it out to college students?
Well, because the constitutional literacy of college students is the constitutional literacy of third graders.
I think that's false equivalency.
Well, hold on. Let's test your knowledge. Don't open it up.
Right.
What is the 10th Amendment? Okay, let's get easier. What's the 4th Amendment?
Isn't that the No Quartering Act?
No, that's the 3rd Amendment.
Third.
Okay. The Constitution, when was it ratified?
1787.
Yeah, when was the Bill of Rights ratified?
1789.
1791. How many articles are there in the U.S. Constitution?
There's 8 articles.
7.
7.
What is Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution?
I just want to ask.
No, but I'm just saying, you came here guns blazing.
Yeah.
You do not know more than a third grader about the U.S. Constitution, which is exactly what these are the most elementary.
Do you think that it's important to have the backup knowledge here when you can read it and you can reference the points that you're trying to
understand? But we have explainers there because there are a lot of people, unfortunately, like you, that even go to college that don't know the basics about their country. Should we agree that 14-year-olds should not be able to get gender-affirming care?
No.
You think they should?
Absolutely not. I think they do. Are you the Society of Pediatric Endocrinologists? Are you the AMA? Because they disagree with you.
Just because you don't have the title doctor does not mean that you can't see which doctor practices from afar. There is no medicinal value of giving a 14-year-old girl who might be going through a phase, who's probably going through puberty anxiety, irreversible drugs, and breast removal surgery, and saying that this is all about gender-affirming care.
One in the United States under the age of 16 gets breast reduction surgery. They do have access to hormones, and there are medical benefits to that, primarily the decrease in anxiety and suicidality.
First of all, that's been disproven in the Kess report. I don't want to pick on you, but you got to explain to me, what is a woman?
I think it's anyone who identifies as a woman.
No, but then what is the term? It's like saying a tree is a thing that is a tree. That's circular reasoning.
I think it's literally just that. No, I don't think it has to be that deep.
That's not
okay. How would you define it then? To understand where you're coming from.
As humanity always has, which is an adult female with XX chromosomes, right? Not tough, not difficult, not overcomplicated. My 2-year-old actually could say woman, man, woman, man, woman.
Why do you need to know that? Why does it matter if you call them a man or not?
Hold on. So we just gravitated from that. This is what it is to why does it matter? Let me tell you why it matters. Because we are being forced to lie on a daily basis and affirm people's mental delusions. And we refuse to lie. Since you're so smart, show the world how smart you are. We'll give you our mic, not your bullhorn. So come on up. So now we know that you're like a blatant narcissist that needs attention at all times to cut in line.
Let's talk about the 200 people deported without due process to El Salvador. A United States citizen.
Hey, sorry, had it muted. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to episode 54 of A New Christian's Walk with the Word. It's just going to be us today. Abby and Garrett are taking the night off. And so I had a rough weekend, kind of sick. And so today I thought I'd just, instead of a diesel song, I thought I would play something funny. So that's why I have this on for now.
Was actually deported.
It was not a U.S. citizen. That's not correct.
Liar.
It's not a U.S. citizen. It was actually,
come on.
No, it was someone that was living here. Yeah, it was not a U.S. citizen.
Hey, this guy just lies.
You want to have a debate, but you actually don't debate. There's nothing more ill-made than this.
Show me you're losing without telling me you're losing.
What? So you're just going to lie?
Well, first of all, it's not a U.S. citizen. He was living here for a while. He was part of MS-13. Answer yes or no.
Okay.
Should members of a terrorist organization be able to stay in the United States after they've murdered and gone after American citizens?
Obviously, no.
So we have deported those people back to their country. What is a woman?
It's a woman it's a person who believes they're a woman.
No, but that's not a definition. What objectively is a woman?
Just anyone who believes they're a woman.
No, without using the word woman.
It's just a person who believes they're a woman. I mean, what's wrong with that?
The inability to answer the most fundamental, obvious biological question, what is a woman? This is not troubling. Like, it's so simple. It's so obvious. Last chance. Can you tell me what a woman is? Are you a woman?
Why are you so hateful?
I asked you what a woman was. That's not hateful.
I gave you the definition.
Are you confused?
Thank you for your time.
So why do you care so much about other individuals living their lives? What is affecting you? Do you have something up your ass or something?
Well, I could throw that right back at you. Why do you care so much about what I have to say?
Because you're affecting other people's rights. You're taking away people's choices. You are hurting people.
So again, you say I'm here to take rights away.
Yes.
Do you agree life is a right?
I feel like if it's a clump of cells, then it's not alive.
No, but let's go back. Do you think every human being has a right to life?
Depending on how many weeks, but let's
So wait, hold on. Who's trying to take rights away? I want to protect the rights of all human beings. You call them a clump of cells.
So what is a woman?
What is a woman is whatever you want to be.
So anyone can be a woman?
Yeah.
So do you get a period?
Actually, yeah. So,
Can you give birth?
no.
So a woman can be whatever you want it to be.
Hormones by themselves, you can actively change.
But
by taking HRT, you can also stop taking the T suppressor.
But people are more than
eventually.
hormones. You have men with low testosterone. Those are called white dudes for Harris. If I wear a disguise or a costume, do I become that thing? For example, if I dress with a sombrero and start talking with a Mexican accent, do I then become that culture?
No, because that's different race.
How is it different? Because you're saying that if you dress a certain way and you present a certain way, you can be as you think you are. Why can't I also just choose what culture I am?
Because you're born within a culture, you're born with.
But you were born as a man.
All right.
The federal government spending money based solely on tests hurts people because then we don't get the money going to critical thinking, which your misinformation machine succeeds on.
So you would say I'm a misinformation machine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Fine. You're a teacher. Yes. What is a woman?
Oh, buddy. We define gender as a set of preferences that you have. Woman is a social construct that we've agreed upon. Typically, we imagine womanhood as makeup or whatever. There is a difference between the word woman and being a biological female. We agree on these set of preferences. If I tell you that I'm a man, is because I want you to know that I like these set of preferences. If I tell you I'm a woman, it's because I want you to know that I agree with these set of preferences.
Can men give birth?
Can men or can males? Because males can't.
So I want to thank you for proving a great point.
What?
You are why we should eliminate the Department of Education. Imagine you're
Amen.
voting for Kamala, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why are you voting for Kamala?
Okay. Well, I mean, I just think that the first thing I would look for in a candidate is someone that I think would be willing to accept if they lost the election.
What is Kamala's greatest accomplishment?
I mean, I would say her greatest accomplishments would probably be when she was district attorney, when she was she broke up a bunch of transnational criminal organizations. But again, I was really just asking you about Trump University and your opinion because it's relevant to this.
I know. I asked you like the most simple question. I asked you who you're voting for and why. So
I don't want to have like a whole 30-minute debate with you. I was just asking a question. Thanks for answering.
no, you embodied white youth for Harris energy perfectly.
You're thinking that DEI is versus excellence. I think DEI is for excellence.
Got it. Show me.
Sorry, everybody. It's almost over. I needed a good laugh. I love Charlie Kirk, but these little videos, these little AI baby videos are so entertaining to me. My wife likes it too, I think.
One institution that got better the more it embraced DEI.
One institution that got better that embraced DEI.
That got smarter, more competitive, leaner, more productive, and that was better than it was 10 years ago. Are our airports more efficient? Are we landing planes better? Are our airlines better? Is our government better? Is our schools better? Is our universities better? Show me one institution that's embraced DEI that has become better, more excellent than it was 20 years ago. It doesn't exist. DEI will destroy an institution from within. At the core, DEI wants a lot of things, including racial quotas. We don't believe in racial quotas. We want excellence quotas and the best and the ones that earned it to be able to get in those positions.
All right, everybody. All right. Thank you for bearing with me. That was a little fun. All right. So it's just us today. Abby and Garrett are taking the night off. So Friday we got to Genesis 39. So my cousin over the weekend saw my live stream on Facebook, and he I guess he had seen a few posts prior, and he figured somebody must have hacked my account. But yeah, he clicked on it the other day, and holy crap, babe, it really is Jeremy. So hopefully he'll be watching tonight. But if I do have any new viewers tonight, I would just kind of like to reiterate the whole point of this this live stream. Shortly after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, something snapped, and I put away my video games. It's time to stop wasting time, or stop building stuff that doesn't improve my life or do me any good. You know, like these fictional characters I'd spend thousands and thousands of hours on. So here I am. This is my my new enterprise. So I have started doing this live stream every night with my daughter, because I have never, even though I've called myself a Christian all my life, I've never read the Bible. I've read bits and pieces. You know, you look stuff up, you know, and when under certain circumstances, you know, like when you're going through a divorce or you're dealing with jealousy, you know, you Google Bible passages to deal with divorce or jealousy or whatever the case may be. So I decided I needed to sit down and I needed to read this book, and I needed to be held accountable. If left to my own devices, I would fail. Well, maybe not, but odds are I would give up, you know, especially going through Genesis. Although I must say, this book was far more entertaining than I expected, or at least, you know, what I was led to believe, that it was just this boring list of names who begats, which isn't that bad. I mean, really, I haven't encountered that much that was too tedious, but really good story. So we started with John, then we went to Revelation, then we went to Daniel, and now we decided to start at the beginning, and we're at Genesis. So tonight we're going to start at Genesis chapter 39. But first we have to pray. All right, here we go. Heavenly Father, we thank you for your word. Please bless it to our understanding. Please breathe your breath of life into it, that it may breathe into us. Let it be a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. I'm just going to get right into it, even though 13 minutes later, right into it. All right, here we go. Now Joseph had been taken down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, brought him from the Ishmaelites who had taken him down there. The Lord was with Joseph, and he was a successful man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all he did to prosper in his hand. So Joseph found favor in his sight and served him. Then he made him overseer of his house, and all that he had put under his authority. So it was from time to time that he had made him overseer of his house and all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was all that he had in his house and in the field. Thus he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he did not know what he had except for the bread which he ate. Now Joseph was handsome in form and appearance. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast longing eyes on Joseph, and she said, "Lie with me." But he refused and said to his master's wife, "Look, my master does not know what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. There is no one greater in the house than I, nor has he kept back anything from me but you, because you are his wife. Now, or how then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? So it was, as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he did not heed her, or lie with her, or to be with her. Okay, let me say that. Let me read that again. So it was, as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he did not heed her, to lie with her, or to be with her. But it happened about this time, when Joseph went into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the house was inside, that she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. But he left his garment in her hand and fled and ran outside. And so it was, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and fled outside, that she called to the men of her house and spoke to them, saying, See, he has brought in to us a Hebrew to mock us. He came in to lie with me, and I cried out with a loud voice. And it happened, when he heard that I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled and went outside. So she kept his garment with her until the master came home. Then she spoke to him with words like these, saying, The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came in to me to mock me. I'm sorry, hang on. The Hebrew servant whom you brought to us came in to me to mock me. That makes no sense. Okay. So it happened, as I lifted my voice and cried out, that he left his garment with me and fled outside. So it was, when his master heard the words which his wife spoke to him, saying, Your servant did to me after this manner. Your servant did to me after this manner. Why are these women not able to speak? I do not understand. Okay. Your servant did to me after this manner, that his anger was aroused. Then Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were confined. And he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy. And he gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners who were in the prison. Whatever they did there, it was his doing. The keeper of the prison did not look into anything that was under Joseph's authority, because the Lord was with him. And whatever he did, the Lord made it prosper. All right, chapter 40. The prisoner's dreams. It came to pass after these things that the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was angry with his two officers, the chief butler and chief baker. So he put them in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, in the prison, the place where Joseph was confined. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them. So they were in custody for a while. Then the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were confined in the prison, had a dream, both of them, each man's dream in one night, and each man's dream with its own interpretation. And Joseph came in to them in the morning and looked at them and saw that they were sad. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in the custody of his lord's house, saying, Why do you look so sad today? And they said to him, We each have had a dream, and there is no interpreter of it. So Joseph said to them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell them to me, please. Then the chief butler told his dream to Joseph and said to him, Behold, In my dream, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches. It was as though it budded, its blossoms shot forth, and its clusters brought forth ripe grapes. Then Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into the Pharaoh's cup and placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said to him, "This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Now within 3 days Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you to your place, and you will put Pharaoh's cup in his hand according to the former manner when you were his butler. But remember me when it is well with you, and please show kindness to me. Make mention of me to Pharaoh, and get me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away from the land of the Hebrews, and also I have done nothing here that they should put me into the dungeon." Then the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good. He said to Joseph, "I also was in my dream, and there were 3 white baskets on my head. In the uppermost basket were all kinds of baked goods for Pharaoh, and the birds ate them out of the basket on my head." So Joseph answered and said, "This is the interpretation of it. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Within 3 days, Pharaoh will lift off your head from you and hang you on a tree. And the birds will eat your flesh from you." Wow. Now it came to pass on the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast for all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. Then he restored the chief butler to his butlership again, and he placed the cup in Pharaoh's hand. But he changed the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief butler did not remember Joseph, but forgot him. Forgive me, everybody. I've got a bad cold. I'm trying to power through it. Here we go. All right, so now we are on chapter 41. This will be our last chapter for the night. Pharaoh's dreams. Then it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh had a dream, and behold, he stood by the river. Suddenly there came up out of the river 7 cows, fine looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them out of the river, ugly and gaunt, and stood by the other cows on the bank of the river. And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. They ate the cows? Okay. And the ugly and gaunt cows ate up the 7 fine-looking and fat cows. So Pharaoh awoke. He slept and dreamed a second time, and suddenly 7 heads of grain came up on one stalk, plump and good. Then behold, 7 thin heads, blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. And the 7 thin heads devoured the 7 plump and full heads. So Pharaoh awoke, and indeed it was a dream. Now it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. And Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was no one who could interpret them for Pharaoh. Then the chief butler spoke to Pharaoh, saying, I remember my faults this day, when Pharaoh was angry with his servants and put me in custody of the house of the captain of the guard. Both me and the chief baker, We each had a dream in one night, he and I. Each of us dreamed according to the interpretation of his own dream. Now there was a young Hebrew man with us there, a servant of the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted our dreams for us. To each man he interpreted according to his own dream. And it came to pass, just as he interpreted for us, so it happened. He restored me to my office, and he hanged him. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him quickly out of the dungeon, and he shaved, changed his clothing, and came to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. But I have heard it said that you can understand a dream to interpret it. So Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Behold, in my dream I stood on the bank of the river. Suddenly 7 cows came out of the river, fine-looking and fat, and they fed in the meadow. Then behold, 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and gaunt, such ugliness as I have never seen in all the land of Egypt. And the gaunt and ugly cows ate up the first 7, the fat cows. When they had eaten them up, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were just as ugly as the beginning. No, they were just as ugly as at the beginning. So I awoke. Also, I saw in my dream, and suddenly 7 heads came up on one stalk, full and good. Excuse me. Then behold, 7 heads, withered, thin, and blighted by the east wind, sprang up after them. And the thin heads devoured the 7 good heads. So I told this to the magicians, and there was no one who could explain it to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good heads are 7 years. The dreams are one. And the 7 thin and ugly cows which came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty heads, blighted by the east wind, are 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken to Pharaoh. God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. Indeed, 7 years of great plenty will come throughout all the land of Egypt. But after them 7 years of famine will arise, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine will deplete the land. So the plenty will not be known in the land because of the famine followed, or because of the famine following, for it will be very severe. And the dream was repeated to Pharaoh twice, because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. Now therefore, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land to collect 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt in the 7 plentiful years. And let them gather all food of those good years that are coming, and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Then that food shall serve as a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land may not perish during the famine. Joseph's rise to power. So the advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, "Can we find such a one as this, a man in whom is the Spirit of God?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Inasmuch as God has shown you all this, there is no one as discerning and wise as you. You shall be over my house, and all my people shall be ruled according to your word. Only in regard to the throne will I be greater than you." And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh took his signet ring off his hand and put it on Joseph's hand. And he clothed him in garments of fine linen and put a gold chain around his neck. And he had him ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried out before him, bow the knee. So he set him over all the land of Egypt. I'm sorry, give me 1 second here. Sorry about that. All right. Now in the 7 plentiful years, the ground brought forth abundantly. So he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. He laid up in every city the food of the fields which surrounded them. Joseph gathered very much grain, as the sand of the sea, until he stopped counting, for it was immeasurable. And to Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of the famine came, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bore to... Okay, all right. We'll go back. And to Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, whom Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bore to him. Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For God has made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second he called Ephraim. For God has caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. Then the 7 years of plenty which were in the land of Egypt ended, and the 7 years of famine began to come, as Joseph had said. The famine was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. So when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. Then Pharaoh said to all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph. Whatever he says you do, or whatever he says to you, do." The famine was over all the face of the earth, and Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians. And the famine became severe in the land of Egypt. So all countries came to Joseph in Egypt to buy grain, because the famine was severe in all lands. Excuse me. All right. That was our reading for tonight. Sorry, I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to get right into our daily devotional. This is from the Jesus Calling book by Sarah Young. I'm just going to get right into it so I can get some rest. I have some leftover enchiladas I want to heat up. All right. November 24th. Thankfulness takes the sting out of adversity. That is why I have instructed you to give thanks for everything. There is an element of mystery in this transaction. You give me thanks regardless of your feelings, and I give you joy regardless of your circumstances. This is a spiritual act of obedience, at times, blind obedience. To people who don't know me intimately, it can seem irrational and even impossible to thank me for heart-trending hardships. Heart-rending. Thank me for heart-rending hardships. Nonetheless, those who obey me in this way are invariably blessed, even though difficulties may remain. Thankfulness opens your heart to my presence and your mind to my thoughts. You may still be in the same place with the same set of circumstances, but it is as if a light has been switched on, enabling you to see from my perspective. It is this light of my presence that removes the sting from adversity. All right. I have 3 passages to go with it. Ephesians 5:20. Always giving thanks to God the Father. Always giving thanks to God the Father for everything, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And then Psalm 118, verse 1. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. And then Psalm 89:15. Blessed are those who have learned to acclaim you, who walk in the light of your presence, O Lord. All right. Well, that pretty much wraps us up for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and if you could share my show on your social media or sorry, I could barely speak tonight. Just tickle in my throat. It makes me want to cough so bad. I'm trying not to. But yeah, if you could hit that like, subscribe, and share it on your social media to help grow my channel and maybe extend our reach. And I'd be very grateful. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. God bless you. Have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Pacific. All right, everyone. Good night.